जीवन बहुत छोटा है और जैसे हम उसे जीते हैं उससे तो और भी छोटा हो जाता है। हम कमाते कम, गमाते ज्यादा है। हमारा जीवन जीवन कहा जा सके ऐसा भी नहीं। जीवन तो दूर, हमारा ठीक से जन्म भी नहीं हो पाता है। जिन्हें स्वयं का होना केवल देह, मन इनसे ही बंधा मालूम होता है। उन्होंने अभी जाना ही नहीं कि वे क्या हैं और क्या हो सकते हैं। रहते हो और सोचते हो कर ली कमाई, समझ लेते हो पा लिया सब कुछ पाने योग, क्योंकि कुछ पागलों ने ऐसा ही समझ लिया। इस जगत को गौर से देखो, आंख को खोल कर देखो। तुम आंख फोड़ने चले हो, अरे आंख को जरा खोलो।
So hello everyone, in this session what we're gonna do is we are going to talk about a skill, or you can say a art, which is really important, and if you miss this skill, then you will miss out a lot in life, right? A lot in both professionally, personally, whatever it might be, you will miss a lot. So this skill is like really important, and it expects you of your background. Let's say that you are coming from a technical or a non-technical background. If you don't have this skill, you will miss a lot of opportunities, a lot of things in life, to be specific. And in chess session, I have took a session on chess, right? So in chess session, in rule 2 or 3, I have said you that placing our pieces in the right position is really important. It is as important as being talented. If you don't show up, then what's the use? Let's say that you know rocket science, you have the immense knowledge of this complex science called as rocket science, you know it, every nuance of it, but you can't describe it, you can't put it out in the world. You don't have the network, you don't have the people who talk about rocket science. Your circle is not of people who talk about rocket science. Then what's the use of it? You know the complex science, you have it in your head, you are the intellectual person, but you don't have one penny in your pocket. Then what's the use of knowing rocket science? It is as equivalent as not knowing it, right? So if you don't show up, if you don't put your thoughts out, if you don't know how to put your thoughts out, how to collaborate with people, how to talk, then you will miss out a lot. So in this session, what we are gonna do is we are gonna talk about a skill, and that skill is public speaking. So let me open my document. So public speaking. In this session, we are going to talk about this particular skill, how we can develop this, how we can be a master in this particular skill. So let me increase the screen size here. Okay, so I hope you guys are seeing it. We are going to talk about public speaking. Now you might have heard hundreds of seminars, hundreds of videos you might have listened, and I did the same when I was learning public speaking. When I wanted to learn public speaking in depth, I have gone to hundreds of videos, and I have listened to my teachers, my mentors taking seminars, and I have attended n number of seminars, believe me. But what I have realized that around 80% of them don't give me this damn moment. And what I mean by damn moment is you will get this feeling, right? So when you listen something like crazy, and you feel that this thing which I have learned from this seminar will like literally changed me as a person, changed my psychology, changed my thinking process. So in this, among these hundreds of videos I have watched, like n number of seminars I have attended, I don't feel that much damn moments. Only around 20% of them might have some damn moments. But this session which I am going to do, which I am going to take, this might take 1 hour or 45 minutes or 1.5 hours, depending on my overall speech, how much it will take, right? Irrespective of the time, I will guarantee you one thing, that by the end of this session you will learn something unique which you don't find usually in internet. I'm not saying that you won't find, but usually most of the cases you are used to listening like in reels, in shorts, in normal videos, in seminar as well. When you go to public speaking sessions, public speaking seminars, they say the same usual generic things. I'm not gonna say the generic things. Believe me when I say that you are going to learn something unique and very different and real. What I mean by real is, after listening to this, your thinking processes, your mindset will change quite a bit. But for this you have to listen throughout this session. For this you have to be with me for this 1 hour or 1.5 hour or 45 minutes, whatever the length of this session going to be. You have to be with me. If you are with me, then I am guaranteeing you that you will sense a magic, you will get the damn moment, right? And one more thing is that my session is going to be deeply rooted with psychology, philosophy and social science. So I have combined these three disciplines, and by combining these three disciplines I have formed some frameworks, or you can say some rules which are practical. And after saying this, again I'm saying your mindset will get a little bit shift, will change quite a bit, right? So my overall session is deeply rooted with psychology, philosophy and social science. So by combining these three, I have prepared my overall session. Right now, before we go into session, before we go, what are the frameworks I'm going to talk about? Before we go into that, what is my goal? What is my goal from this session? So my goal is to help a person who thinks that public speaking is hard and fear from it. Those people who fear from going on stage, those people who have fear it and have social anxiety, right? When they go on stage, they got like social anxiety. So my goal is to help this person who thinks that public speaking is hard, not for them, and fear from it and have this anxiety of going on stage. So I want to help that particular person. This is my goal. Let me highlight it. Let me like make it a highlight. Okay, now after that, what you will get, what audience will get, what my audience will get. So for this, my audience will get a set of frameworks, you can say set of frameworks or rules which they can immediately apply, and after it they will get a clear mind after this, right? If you observe mostly when you see this hundreds of videos I have talked about, when you go through this seminars, after going through this seminars, after going through attending 1.5 hour sessions, 2 hour sessions for a week, for 2 weeks, even though you have attended all these things, but in your mind there is a dilemma that whether I will be a good speaker or not, and what are the things, there's an uncertainty in your head. So after listening to this, you will get a set of frameworks which you can directly apply, and your mind will get a clear perspective. These are the real things I should focus on. So my audience will get this by the end of this session. So these are the two things. You will get my goal and what audience will get. Now let us dive into our session. So this is the beginning of our session. So before coming to this session, I was talking with my friends. And I said them that I'm gonna take this seminar, and in the seminar is about public speaking. So I asked my friends and teachers, that is, I asked my friends and teachers and mentors one question, that is, what is the number one trait of a public speaker? I asked this question, public speaker, to my friends and family, like my parents and my teachers and some of my mentors. What is the number one trait of a public speaker? What is the number one quality that he should look upon? He should like focus, he should put his completely focus. And I got more generic answers. I like, when I search this in YouTube videos, when I search this in seminars, when I go through these seminars, I got the same answers, and my friends, my parents, and most of the around 80% of these people said the same thing, which is they need to be more clear, they need to be more articulate, eloquent, their body language should be like very good, and they should have eye contact with the audience, and all these generic things they said, right? What they said is they need to be more clear, articulate, and their body language, and you can say their eye contact, they should have eye contact. These all things my most of 80 to 90% of friends, teachers and parents said. And I said to them that you are saying the wrong answer. All of you guys are saying the wrong answer. And very few of my mentors and very few of my high profile lecturers who are really good at teaching, they said one thing which got stuck in my head. So the number one quality of a public speaker, I'm gonna write it down here, to pass on the message to the most unwilling of audiences. This is the number one quality. This is the number one quality of a public speaker. If you have this quality, then kudos to you, then congratulate yourself. That is to pass on the message, whatever the topic you are creating. Let's say you are creating a seminar on climate change. Generally, this is a boring topic. This is a topic which takes a lot of complex words, which require a lot of complex words, complex vocabulary, all those kind of things. So for this, generally most of the audience are bored, they don't want to listen. So if you have this number one quality, if you are a real public speaker, if you are a great public speaker, then you will have this quality. And the quality is to pass on the message to the most unwilling audience. It means that the audience is not interested. It means that the audience is disinterested in your speech. Even though the audience is disinterested, you are going into their psychology, you are going into their consciousness and shooting your message, getting your message inside their head. This is the number one quality. Even though they are disinterested, even though they are not interested, they don't want to listen, but you got into their consciousness, you got your message into their head, into their consciousness. This is a number one quality. And very few professors of mine, very few mentors said this to me. And this is, as I said, this is deeply rooted with psychology. You can observe that great speakers, the people who are really great at public speaking, will pass on, you will listen to their talks irrespective of what they are talking about. They can talk about boring topics like existentialism, nihilism, whatever they are talking about. It can be related to philosophy, or it can be related to much complex topics like in physics they are talking about quantum mechanics. Now most people, when they talk about value, when they let's say you are giving some seminar, generally I give sessions, I take sessions on social media, on YouTube about computer science, right? When I talk about binary tree, the topic is itself, you can say, complex. When I take sessions, it is given that I am going to use some complex language, some complex technique. And when audience listen this complex topics, when my audience or audience in general, people in general listen or think about this complex topics which has real value. By listening to this, they are going to learn a lot. When they listen to this real world complex topics, what they will do is they will lose interest, because people don't want to listen the content which has value. You can see 100 reels at a time, which is like 30 seconds, but you don't want to listen to a 15 or 20 minutes educational video, because it has value in it. And when values come in the content, most of the mob becomes disinterested. They lose interest. Their retention span is decreasing. They don't want to listen, right? And so whatever the main content which has value, for that particular content, people don't want to listen. So the number one trait, let's say there is a great speaker, so whatever the complex topic he is choosing, let's say he's choosing about quantum mechanics, so when he speak, if he is a great public speaker, people will listen to him, because he craft this message irrespective of the complex topic. He creates his speech in such a way that audience will become like immediately interested in his speech. This is the number one quality. And people will say, I said that people around 80 to 90% people said that they need to be more clear. Let me highlight this thing also. So to pass on the message to the most unwilling audience. Now people, as I said, that around 80 to 90% of people said me that they need to be more clear. Let me remove the highlighter here. As I said that people said me that they need to be more clear, and their speech should be good, and after their body language should be good, and they should have eye contact. The public speaker should have eye contact with the audience. And I said these people that all these things which you are saying is not wrong. First of all, these things are not wrong, but this is a retrospective perspective. This is a outside perspective of a speaker. What the speaker is looking like, what he's talking about, what is his speech like. These all things are outside to a speaker, and these are important. I'm not saying that these are not important, but this is not as important as the thing which I have highlighted above, that is to pass on the message to the most unwilling audience. What is going on inside the speaker, and what is the message he's trying to deliver, and in what way he's going to deliver that message. That thing is important, and all these things which will come along irrespective of what he's doing, what he's wearing. If the message is solid, then audience will connect. Okay, so this is the number one quality. You have to keep in your head for the rest of the session. Now let us talk about our frameworks. As I said that I have 10 frameworks, or you can say 10 rules which are really important, and these are some practical, you can say, rules. So let us talk about each one of them in detail. So the rule number one is nerves and confidence. Confidence. So what I mean by nerves and confidence is that most of the people, around whatever the people, who are the people they are, when I talk about them, what do you fear the most? Why do you say that public speaking is hard, and they said that most of my friends, most of my classmates said that they are afraid of making a mistake on stage. They are afraid of making mistake, or I can say a social mistake. They are afraid of making a social mistake. They don't want to make a social mistake on stage. What I mean by social mistake is that what they are thinking in their head before going to stage is that they will go on stage and they will make some mistake, and people will laugh at them. The friends, whoever the classmates they have around will laugh at them, will make fun of them. But you have to understand one thing, that this fear you have in your head, this is an imaginary fear, right? Before going to stage, you are thinking that when I go to stage, I might probably make a mistake, and due to this mistake, people will laugh at me, and they will make fun of me for the rest of the year, for the rest of the time we are spending in. They will think that, oh, this guy make a terrible mistake, this guy didn't talk, this guy is a total bullshit guy. But in reality, this whatever the fear you are having, this is all in your head. This is a totally imaginary fear. And what I mean by imaginary fear is that there is a concept in psychology called as spotlight effect. Spotlight effect. I want you to search this term, search this particular term on the internet. So what this spotlight effect says, that each and every person has their own spotlight effect, has a spotlight effect on top of them, and in their life they are the main character. Right, what I mean by main character is that, let's say that, for example, to understand this spotlight effect, the concept of spotlight effect, let us take a movie, recently released movie. Let's say that I am talking about superhero movie. Let's say superhero movie, let's say example as Batman. So in the Batman movie, the main character is Batman. So while you're watching the movie, all your focus, all your attention is towards the main character, which is Batman, and you don't put a focus on a side character. Let's say there is a policeman, right? He is somewhat important, but throughout the length of the film you are focused on the Batman character and you don't remember the side characters that much. When compared to the main character, you don't remember the side character that much, right? Similarly, when you make a mistake, you think that other people will laugh at you, but what you don't realize is that they have their own spotlight. They think that from their perspective they are the main character. In their lives they are the main character, they are the hero, and you are a side character. And as I said that when we are watching a film, let's say we are watching a film called as Avengers or Batman, and in the Batman the main character is Batman, so all your focus is in the character Batman, not in the side character. You don't even remember the side character, you don't even remember the villain, but you focus that much on the hero, right? So in his life he is the hero, so he will focus on himself, not on you, because from his perspective you are a side character. And he don't remember you more than 15 minutes. Bro, you have to understand one thing, people don't even remember what they had for breakfast, and you are thinking that for the rest of his life he will remember the terrible mistake you made. No, my friend, no, this is like totally wrong assumption you're having in your head, right? And I hope you have understood that each and every person has a spotlight, and from his perspective he's the main character and you are a side character, and he will remember. Let's say he is remembering you and he is laughing at you. Then what's the problem in it? Somebody is laughing because of you. You are like, if you see just the overall premise, you will understand that because of you there is happiness generated. Because of you people are laughing, right? Let's say you are watching Kapil Sharma show, or most of you audiences are from Telugu state, right? Let's say you are watching Jabardast, right? The best example is Jabardast. You are watching Jabardast, and when you are watching Jabardast, what you go through is that people on the stage are making you laugh. People on the stage going like doing terrible things, shitty things, and making you laugh. So will you hate them? The question is, as audience, will you hate Kapil Sharma? No, you won't hate Kapil Sharma because he's making you laugh. Right? Similarly, when a people make you laugh because of his mistake, because of things, you don't personally hate him, you relate to him, right? So what audience is doing is they are relating you. So again, we are going in wrong territory. I want to come back to the main topic, that is, people won't remember and you think that they remember for the rest of your life. This is the two different ways. They are not remembering, and you are thinking in your head, you are thinking that they will remember and make fun, right? These are the two different perspectives. This is the reality and this is your imaginary reality. Got my point? And most of the people, they said to me that when I get on the stage, because of this fear, the probability of making mistake is so high, Jabir, what I can do? And I said to all of my friends that when you go onto the stage, let's say you are going onto the stage for the first time. When you go onto the stage for the first time, the probability of you making mistake is around 80 to 90%. You will make a mistake. Let's say you go onto the stage, go onto the stage and you didn't talk because of fear. It will happen. You have to keep this in your head that you will make mistake when you are going to the stage for the first time, and it is completely okay. It doesn't matter that people should like you, people should appreciate you. Doesn't have to be at first. As you keep on doing the same thing for a long period of time, even though the people are laughing at you, even though you are making terrible mistakes, but you are going on to the stage, you are showing up daily, that thing will create a huge impact. And the best example I can think of is let's say you are driving a motorcycle, you are learning to drive motorcycle. Initially you will fall, right? Initially you will fall down. If you fall down, then you will give up riding or learning motorcycle. The answer is no, you won't give up. You will come back, you will pick up your motorcycle and start riding. Similarly, when you are giving a talk, when you make a terrible mistake, accept it, move on, and again show up to the stage, again go on to the stage and make that terrible mistake. Let's say you have gone on to the stage for the first time and you have made around 80 to 90% of your speech. Now when you go back onto the stage for the second time, you will definitely make some mistakes, but those mistakes are very much less when compared to the previous talk. So the definition, the thing which I am coming in is confidence. Confidence is nothing but comfort due to repetition. I might write some spelling mistakes wrong here, right? So confidence is nothing but when you do a thing n number of times, when you do that particular thing for again and again for a long period of time, then that thing is known as confidence. Right? This is the definition of confidence. People say that, oh, you have to be more confident, you have to think that you are confident, make your body language like that. But the reality is, when you go on to the stage for the first time, you won't have any confidence because you don't have any experience. And when you do that thing again and again n number of times, confidence is nothing but comfort due to repetition. When you repeat it for n number of times, then you will get confidence. This is a definition of confidence. The best example, again, as I said, that driving motorcycle. And if I want to give you a personal example, the personal example is, initially when I am creating YouTube social platform of Imaginary Hub, go to the first video. I have created a video of 9 hours Java lecture. See that video. And recently we had a video of binary trees, right? I think 29th lecture. See that video, right? See my 9 hours Java course and see my binary tree 29th lecture, and you will observe that my body language, my delivery, you can say delivery of speech and overall production quality has increased a lot, right? Has improved a lot, to be clear. And I don't say that I am a pro in this, but I am learning. And if you compare that, the 9 hertz video and this binary tree video is so much better because I have repeated my task for n number of times. So when you have fear, the answer is go on to the stage, embarrass yourself, again do that, again embarrass yourself, again do that, and this circle will continue. And by repeating this circle, you will get confidence. This is rule number 1. Nerves and confidence. Initially you have nervousness, and that nervousness will eventually get converted into confidence. Rule number 2. The rule number 2 is avoid generic, shitty templates. And what I mean by template is that when you are making speech, what most of the people will do is that they will create the introduction. Hello my dear fellow mates, respected HOD ma'am, all the departments of this guys, respected mechanical HOD, mechanical this, respected my teacher, my fellow mates. And you have to understand one thing, that when you make this generic templates, what will eventually happen is that audience will lose interest. Right? Let me show you a diagrammatic graphical representation also. Let's say that here this is a graph, and in this, let's say that this is a attention of your audience. This is attention of our audience, and this is the time. So initially when you make a template, what people will think that, listen, people don't have time to listen to you for a longer period of time. They want to listen the purpose of your talk immediately. They wanna listen what you are talking about. And if you are talking about the same thing which other people are talking, if I'm saying that public speaking they need to be more articulate, more clear, you will skip the video, you will leave the session, you will leave the Zoom meeting now, right? Because I'm talking about the same generic shit. And when people do that, let's say that I am using template, so I'm saying that good morning my fellow teachers, my fellow classmates, and the same generic thing, then what will eventually happen is that around 70 to 80% of your audience will lose interest. They will watch something, or they will see their phones, they will talk to their friends, and they won't listen to your content. So what will happen is that, let's say that you are using a template, so the graph will go down like this. With template, their attention will lose, they will lose the attention. After it will become so hard to pick up this attention from this position, because you have already dropped in the overall attention of your audience, and it is so hard to pick up this back. Right, getting my point? And if you don't use templates, let's say you started with something new, something with a question. If you observe this session, I started with some philosophy. This is different, so audience will think that, oh, this is something new. And I didn't, if you observe my session as well, I didn't started my overall session, oh hello guys, how you guys doing, oh respected teachers, my dear friends, how you guys doing. I didn't started this. I started with what you will get, what I will get after that question. I immediately come to the point. So if you do this without starting a generic template, what it will happen is that it will create a kind of interest and intrigueness, you can say a kind of mystery. And people like mystery, people like kind of, you can say, thrill. They don't, if they don't know what coming next, then they will get excited, right? So for this, if you don't use generic template, then the attention will go up. The audience will think that, oh, what will he say, this is something different, let me listen to this, like they will think that. So without template, the attention of audience will go up. If you use generic template, their audience will go down. Now coming back to my document. Okay, so the thing which I am making is that when you use template will get absorbed as template, not the content. So when you say content, when you say template, when you use template, what will happen is that people will lose retention, and they don't pay attention to your main content. This is the problem with template. And you might say that, Jabir, I am attending a formal gathering, I am giving a speech in my college, and if I don't mention or my professors or my teachers, then it is kind of hard. We have to mention our teachers, we have to include our teachers, our whatever the organization they are having, we need to mention them in our speech. And how we gonna do it? I say to those people, if it is mandatory, then keep it very small. Keep it 5 seconds. Don't keep it more than 5 or 15 seconds. Maximum 15 seconds to be max, not even 30 seconds. Just say, good morning my fellow mates, I hope you are doing good, and start your lecture. You can start like this. Or you can say that if it is necessary to include your departments, teachers, and all those kind of things, you can say, good morning to all the members of this committee and respected teachers, I hope you guys are doing good. My purpose of this talk, go to the talk. So what I'm doing is, I'm not even making my template even 5 seconds. So the second rule is avoid templates. If you use templates, then audience will lose retention, and they will not again connect with you, because you are giving the same generic, same usual talk as other people are doing. Right, this is the rule number 2. Let me highlight the things here such that when you are making notes, it will become clear to you guys. So this is the thing, I want to highlight this. Okay, now the rule number 3, coming back to rule number 3, that is, take few minutes to attune the room to you. So what I mean by this third rule, that is, take few minutes to attune the room to you. What people will generally do is that, coming back to my presentation, so what people generally think is that, let's say that there is a room, right? This is a room. Let me change the pen here. Okay, now this is my room, and in the room there are audience sitting in. Let's say this is person 1, person 2, person 3, and a number of persons are sitting in the room. Now you need to understand one thing, that all people, each and every people is individual, each and every person has their own perspective and their own some sort of mixed expectations from you. Now what you are as a public speaker, what you will think is that you assume some expectations. Oh, this is what my audience is expecting. So you will make a imaginary expectation in your head, that this room has some expectation and I need to match those expectations. You will think that, and when you think that, what you will do when you go on stage is that you will try to reach their level of expectations, and when you do that, the audience will see you as an alien, because they have their own expectations. Each person is different, and you have to understand that you can't reach the level of each and every person's expectation. You can't do that, you can't fulfill that, right? And what you will think is that, oh, this room has some expectation and I need to fill this expectation. And how practical it is. You are thinking in your head that this room has some expectation and I need to fill those expectations. So after that, when you go on stage, let's say this is my stage, when you go on stage, you will try to imitate, and you will try to do things to reach out their expectation. And when you do that, people will see you as an alien. They will see that he's trying something, he's trying to fake something, he's faking something. And when they see the fakeness, when they see that you are trying to make a point, you are trying to do some expectations which they don't have in your head, when they see that, what they will do, that they will alienate you. And they think of you, see you like alien, and you will say that, oh, this person, all persons are taking me or seeing me like an alien. You will complain that after that. So what you will be doing is that audience will have their own expectation and I won't match their expectations. Instead, they should attune to me, right? What you generally do, what not so powerful speakers do, is that they try to attune the room. They try to go on to the expectation level of audience, right? Let's say audience is talking and they'll come on and say, how you guys are talking, oh, this, and what, by doing this, by trying to come up with the expectations of audience, this will make a speaker weak. This will, if you try to attune the imaginary expectation, go on to the expectation which are not even there, then you will look weak. And if you observe powerful speaker, whoever they are, if you observe them, let's say that a room is talking, all the audience people are talking continuously. Now the speaker will come in the room and they will see, and they won't start the speech, they will see, they just started seeing the audiences. And when the audience see him, they will see, oh, the speaker is saying, oh, he's saying, I think he might give a good lecture. We have to silent, so everyone say that, shh, 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 shh. Everyone will say this. And the room itself calmed down. And speaker didn't do anything. He just came in and stand it like that and started seeing the audience. And when he see the audience thought that, oh, he's some powerful personality. We have to be quiet, and everyone become quiet. This is a sign of public speaker. This is a sign of powerful public speaker. What he did is that he attuned the room to him. And similarly, if you observe my introduction, I have started this session with a philosophy, with a music kind of thing. And why I did is that to show you that this is what my session is going to be. This is going to be a lot more psychological, lot more philosophical. Right? And if you don't want psychology and philosophy, you can leave immediately. If you want this, if you want some real stuff, then stay with me. I have attuned my audience to my taste. So this is the third rule. I hope you have understood. Now going back to the thing, going back to my rules. Okay. Now if you are finding this anything as important, then take the notes with me, take all this thing, and I will share this document with you guys. So going to the rule number 4. The rule number 4 says state your purpose clearly at first. So what I mean by this is, when people go on stage, here let me highlight this thing. Okay, now what I mean by this rule 4 is that state your purpose clearly. You have to understand one thing, you have to keep this in your mind. Whenever you are going on a talk, whenever you are talking something, people don't want to listen, right? And they will only listen if they find something very valuable, or they think that this talk is going to help me, or if it is comedic thing and it's going to give us some dopamine in my head. If any of these three things, that is, if they find it interesting, if they think that it is valuable, or if it is giving you some dopamine spike, if these three things are matching, then and only they will listen to your talk, listen to your speech. Otherwise they won't listen. And if you take 30 minutes, 20 minutes coming to the main point, and you are thinking that, oh, this guy after 30 minutes of his speech is going to the main point, that doesn't happen, my friend. In real sense, that doesn't happen. That when you don't come to the main point, people will lose, people won't listen, right? So what I'm telling you is that at the very beginning of your speech, tell your purpose, what is this talk about and what they will learn. In my initial 1 to 2 minutes, I have said that what is my goal and what you will learn. I have stated my purpose clearly. So when you state your purpose clearly, they will think, oh, they will get a clear idea in their head. Let's say my talk is about neural networks. So I will say that initially, that if you listen to my talk, then you will learn about neural networks. So when I say this single line, they will get a clear idea of what they have came into. And when they get a clear idea, they will stick to you for a longer period of time if they find it valuable. So this is the rule number 4, that is, state your purpose very clearly at first, and after stating your purpose, continue with your talk. Initially, within 2 minutes, within the beginning of your talk, just state your purpose and go on with your speech. This is rule number 4. Coming to rule number 5, that is, only talk to 10% of people. Are only see 10 people among 100 people. So what I mean by this rule 5 is that I have studied one thing in a research paper. I was recently studying on human psychology, and human psychology, what I have found out is that people are social animals. Humans are social animals, and we are so interested in sharing our perspectives, our thoughts with other people. I am making this session because I want to share my thoughts, my perspectives, my feelings, my objectives with you guys. Right? Similarly, we are so interested in gossips. Why gossips are so popular, why we are interested in seeing the news of celebrities, because we are interested in other people's lives, and we are interested in talking about that other person with our friend. We are so good at talking with my friend. We are so good at talking to our friends. Let's say there is a friend, we will talk to him for hours and hours because we are good at communicating one-on-one. And when it comes to one-to-many, like public speaking, in public speaking, what we are doing is we are saying we are giving a talk for one-to-many people. One person is sitting on here, and he's talking to hundreds of people. So this communication is happening one-to-many. And when the case of one-to-many comes, our brain don't understand these terms, this theory, this concept that much. And if we don't understand, then our neural network process becomes some kind of slow. You can say it will become slow, and it will become hard to communicate. You won't get words in your head properly. And when you don't get words properly, you will go on stage and you will think, this, that, you will say that. Because what your brain is doing is, it can't able to process this communication network, this communication concept. So what you have to do is that only see among 100 people, if there are 100 people, then only see 10 people who you are interested in, who you find you can say interested or interesting personalities. Let's say that your friends are sitting in this audience, then only see to them. And when you see, as I said, that your mind is expert in one-to-one communication. Your mind think that, oh, I am talking to my friend, and if I am talking to my friend, then I know what are the things, what are the words I have to say. So you will use that slang, and it will become much more clear. And if you don't use this concept, then what you will think is that, oh, this many people are sitting, oh, this is a very important personality, and if I make a mistake, then he will think that I'm a bullshit guy, I'm a wrong guy, oh, I'm not a fit for this particular guy, oh, this person is very wealthy than me, oh, this person class is so much above than me, and I'm so much beneath, I'm so much lower class when compared to them, oh, this person is very intellectual, very intelligent person, and if I make a mistake, then he will laugh. You will start thinking all this nonsense things if you don't understand this rule 5, that is, only talk to 10% of people, only see their faces, only talk to them, and your speech, believe me, becomes so much better when compared to other things. This is rule number 5. And if you don't do this, then you will think of classism, you will think of hierarchy, you will think of wealth, you will think of some nonsense thing in your head. So this is rule number 5. Rule number 6 is use the language you emote in. So what I mean by this rule? So to understand this rule, in Indian culture, as I have observed to now, I don't know whether it is true or not, but we Indians, we value English so much. We generally think that English is a high society language. If I speak English, if I use high vocabulary, high words, high level vocabulary, then I will become so good. People will think that, oh, he's an intellectual person, oh, he has so much knowledge, oh my god, he's so sexy. Will think like that, right? And when you use language which you are not good at, people will see you, and people will look at you as a fake, and they will see your fakeness. Let's say that you don't know English, you don't know that much of vocabulary, that much of English pronunciation of words, vocabulary, grammar, or in general you don't know how to speak English. Now you went on stage and talking in English. Think how much fake it will look. Audience all able to connect your perspective because you don't have language. And one more thing I have observed is you can only connect with your audience emotionally if and only if you emote, you describe, you articulate your language with your mother tongue. And the best example, I think there is a story for it. Let me tell the story also. That when I am in school, I had this story that there was a kingdom of Krishna Deva Raya, right? So in Krishna Deva Raya kingdom, they were a council of ministers, and they used to do some crazy stuff. Those of you who don't know Krishna Deva Raya was a king, was a king in southern states, southern side of India. He has his own empire, and in his palace there was council of empires, right? And this council of people are very highly intelligent, very highly intellectual persons, right? And one day a person came into his palace, very highly talented person, very high intellectual person, and came in his palace and challenged the king that I know each and every language which is there in the world, right? And I can speak each and every language fluently, and I am challenging you to find what is my real language, what is my mother tongue, and if you can able to find, then whatever I ask, I want you, the king, to give it to me. Now Krishna Deva Raya listened to this challenge and thought that, oh, my council of ministers are so intelligent, they are the top minds in the world, and he accepted the challenge. So council of ministers came in, done some various tests on this like pandit, you can say intellectual person, as a pandit. You can consider that to understand what this person is, you can consider him as a pandit. So this intellectual person speaks all the languages which are there in the world. He speaks German, he speaks Italian, he speaks Chinese, he speaks Hindi, Telugu, English, Tamil, Marathi, whatever the languages we have in the world. He spoke all the languages. And this all the people, council of ministers, started doing some analysis all day. And by the evening, no one able to found out what his mother tongue was. Right? And he said that the king said that give me one more day, I will give you, if you if we can't able to find your mother tongue, then you will win the challenge, and I will give you bags of gold and a permanent seat in my council. The king offered this package to him. Now he agreed this package. Now after it, the night came, and in the night the king went to Tenali Rama. Tenali Rama is also one of the intellectual persons in the kingdom, in the empire. So he went, the king Krishna Devaraya went to Tenali Rama and said the whole story, the whole morning story to Tenali Rama. And Tenali Rama listened to this and said that I am not, O king, O lord, O majesty, I am not interested in this stuff. I'm not interested, and keep it out. I'm not gonna involve in this. So listen to this. Now the king listened to this and said, okay, your interest. If you're not interested, then okay. And he went to his palace back. Now at that night, the place where the intellectual pandit was allotted, he was sleeping in his bed. A person with huge body, with like good body physique, and a mask, wearing a dangerous mask on face with a big sword, came in at night. And he started threatening threatening the pandit, the intellectual person. And the intellectual person started saying stop, 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 stop. And all the people, all the soldiers came into the room and you can say stopped the person who is wearing the mask. And when they stopped the person, he removed the mask, and that was Tenali Rama. And he said that your mother language is Tamil, because he said stop, stop, stop in Tamil. So the purpose of this story is that when you are expressing high level emotions, when you are expressing some when you are in vulnerable state, when you are in pain, when you are in depression, what language you use is your mother tongue. And when you want to connect deeply with your audience, then you should communicate, you should use your mother tongue, right? Always show emotions, or you can say deep emotions in mother tongue. This is rule number 6. And you might say that, oh Jabir, I'm giving a formal speech and I have to use English in that. Then if you don't know that much English, then my answer is, oh brother, listen, understand, and try to learn English first. After it, go and give speech. Right? Learn the accent, the structure, the overall pronunciation of that language, and after that, give speech. If it is mandatory to give speech in a particular language. Right? If not, then always use emotional connect with your mother tongue. Right? This is rule number 6. And the rule number 7 is, people understand logic least and story better and demonstration the most. What I mean by this rule is that in your speech, if you are using all the high intellectual talks, you are using deep vocabulary, powerful vocabulary which audience don't know, then they will think that you are some alien, and they will use the concept of alienation, and they will alienate you. They won't connect with you, they won't relate with you. So what you have to be doing is that, if it is necessary, if you are giving topic, if your talk is somewhat boring, let's say you are giving a talk on cellular agriculture, in that it is inherently given that you are going to use some heavy language, because the topic is complex, then use some stories, right? Use some stories, and if stories are also not working, then use demonstration. And if you observe my content in social media, I am giving lectures on computer science. Let's say that I am giving on DSA. So DSA is a complex topic. Now, without any demonstration, without any things, if I say without any PPT, if I talk about generally that this is binary search tree, this is graph, this is dynamic programming, if I talk about that, then you won't understand anything. If I show you a visual representation, this is what a tree will look like, you will understand it somewhat better. And if I use my personal stories in it, then it will become way more better. And if I show you a video, then it will get fixed in your head. And here I'm gonna give you a homework. The homework is that watch the launch of iPhone done by Steve Jobs. Launch of launch of iPhone, first iPhone, and go to the launching session of this old 1 hour series when Steve Jobs was speaking about iPhone launch. And he didn't start directly that, oh, we are gonna start with this and this is the product we are creating. He started with a story, he started with mystery, he started with some kind of demonstration of different technologies at that time. So watch that lecture and you will understand very one thing very clear, that even though the launch is a technical product, deep tech, he's launching a deep tech product, but he don't use logic that much, he don't use some complex terminologies. If it is necessary, he's gonna use it, but if not necessary, then he's gonna use some story, he's gonna use some demonstration thing, right? I want you, after this lecture, go and see this lecture. Let me highlight this also. Go and see this lecture. Now coming back to our 8th point. The 8th point is here, let me remove this. Okay, so the 8th point is take them from point A to point B, and this is basically a journey with your audience. And what I mean by this is that from point A to point B. Okay, this. Okay, this is the 8th point. Now what I mean by this, take from point A to point B, the meaning of this is that at the very beginning of your speech you have stated that this is the thing we are going to talk about, and you have stated your purpose. If you observe Steve Jobs' speech, he said that we are going to launch a revolutionary product. This is the purpose of his speech. This is the statement of purpose of his speech. Similarly, my purpose is to help a person who thinks that public speaking is hard. This is my purpose. Now this is point A. Now if you observe Steve Jobs' speech throughout his session, he is taking you with a journey from point A to point B, and the point B is the final point, which is the result. The final point of iPhone launch is to give a clear idea of what an iPhone is and how they can improve their life using this device. And the clear purpose, the point B of my talk, is to make sure to change your thinking in such a way that you will go on to the stage again and again. This is my point B, and my point A is that my purpose, my goal is my point A, and the result which I am expecting from this speech will be my point B. So these are the two different points, and if you state these two things clearly, then the audience will go with you, will come along with you in this ride. This is point number 8, right? Let me highlight this also. Now here, let me highlight this. Now coming back to 9th point, and this point is really important, right? This point is really important, and the point 9 is make it always personal. And what I mean by personal is, let us come back to our PPT. So I said that make it always personal. Let's say that your topic is some complex topic which is not that much correlated with your audience perspective. Let's say you're talking about what is complex topic. Let me think. Again, cellular agriculture, that is nothing but making meat from plants and animals, right? So this is a topic of cellular agriculture, and you are giving a speech in this. Now this is a somewhat similar complex topic, and most of the audience don't know about this, right? Now I said that always make it personal. What I mean by personal is that you have to understand, I'm gonna highlight this thing, that is you have to understand your audience. And what I mean by audience is that understand their age groups, their definition of success. Definition of success will change depending on the age. Let's say you are giving a speech for a teenager from 12 to 16, 17, right? Their definition of success is having good gaming setup. They might be like going into some relationship with a girl or a boy, and having good grades in class. And their definition of success is they should look cool among all the people, they make their hair good. So the definition of their success is looking good, having top scores, and having a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and you can say having gaming thing, right? This is the purpose, this is the definition of a success. Okay, so the definition of success for a 12 to 18-year boy or a girl will be having good grades and girlfriend or boyfriend after it, looking good, after it, they think that they are unique, and having good gaming setup if it is boy, or having good makeup setup if it is a girl, right? This is the definition of success for a teenager. Now if you take people who are in early 20s, from 20 to you can say 28 or 30, for these people their definition of success is money, their definition of success is fame, their definition of success is power, right? For this set of people, for this age group people, they think that my definition of success is I should have much money, I should have a lot of money, people should respect me, for a given circle I should have respect, and it depends. I'm not saying that each and every individual has this thing, but for a group this is the generic definition of success, right? And if you take person from 35 to 45, their definition of success is marriage, their definition of success is stable life with their children, right? And their definition of success is like getting their children to a good school. And if you take people from 50 to 60, then their definition of success is their children's marriage, getting their children marriage. Now if you observe in Indian households, what we generally do is that if it is a girl, we started forcing the like girl child to get married. Oh, you are 25, oh you are 30 now, you are 28, you are 20, you should get married, because parents think that marriage as a responsibility, right? And they want to make it as a success. So their definition of success is child's marriage, right? So depending on the age group, you should understand that what is the main overall definition of their success, and what you have to do is that there is the point which they are right now, there is their right position, the position which they are right now, and there is their success definition. Now what you have to do is that you have to make sure that your message, your talk should lie in between it. Let's say this is their current position, right? You should make sure that this is your talk, and to achieve their success you have to go through this talk. You can't dodge this talk, you have to understand this talk if you want to be successful. If your definition of success is money, then you have to understand the concept of cellular agriculture, because this is going to be a $1 trillion market in the future. If your definition of success is children's health, children's marriage, then you have to understand the concept of cellular agriculture, because if you don't understand, then your children will become weak, they will have like you can say difficulties in having children, right? Because we are making meat artificially. So what I did is that I have made this thing so personal to them by understanding their end goal. This is rule number 8 or 9, I think 9, yeah, so this is 9. I am gonna highlight this also, that is make always personal to them. Understand what is the definition of success, and after understanding make it personal to them. And the rule number 10 is, let me remove the highlighter, final rule is use fillers very wisely, and use them to show emotions, right? So this is the purpose of fillers. Fillers are nothing but so, well, yes, but. These are fillers, these are like very much filler. And the purpose of filler, many speakers will say, many good people will say, teachers will say that don't use fillers, you shouldn't use you shouldn't use so, well in between it, right? And I say that use fillers, but use them to show your emotions. Let's say that I'm using filler, well, this showed at a high peak in my speak, and I'm using but. So I, instead of using but, I will use them but. So what I'm using is that I have made the purpose, I have made the statement, and to like you can say to strike that or to oppose that, I am using but your statement is good, but this is my perspective. So to oppose a person's statement, I am using but. Here I am using a filler, and it is that much necessary. And if I am using like, then what I am showing is kind of relatability with one thing with another thing. This is the purpose of fillers. So these are the 10 things you should remember whenever you are giving a speech, whenever you are giving a public talk, and you should keep this in mind. And this is the overall purpose of this thing, and I will share this, or if you are interested, then take a screenshot of this thing, right? This overall purpose, this overall document, and try to use them. And if you understand what I have delivered, this content, whatever the things I have delivered, then you get one thing as a result, that is you will go on to the stage, your psychology is clear, your mindset is clear, and you will make that mistake, you will embarrass yourself, and after getting embarrassed you will be good, because you have gone through the worst part, and after gone through the worst part you will become good. This is the overall purpose, this is the overall 10 points, 10 frameworks of my talk. Now I hope you have learned something, and if you have any doubts, then hit it in the comment section, and we will talk about let's start with our Q&A. So with that being said, I am stopping this in my social media, I will end it here. With that being said, I will see you in the next one.